Now, I know at some point it does feel like I'm beating a dead horse, talking about the exact same thing and basically reiterating what I've already said. But I feel the need to clarify some things on my very first video on talking about this and basically trying to explain myself in a way where people can kind of understand it a lot better because that video really was just a culmination of all of my thoughts and feelings for the past couple of months and for the past year with The Sims and how fed up I was with the treatment that EA has been giving to its player base and its community. So I felt the need to make a video basically describing that, but I don't think I did it quite as justice. Now, there is a couple of things from that video that I want to reiterate and kind of explain further, just in case for those who literally just didn't understand what I was talking about or took it the wrong way. I want to make it clear on what I stand and what it means for me and my channel. Now, the first thing I want to go ahead and talk about was basically unlisting all of my videos. Like I told you, I enlisted all of my Sims 4 videos and content because I already stated last time that I needed a fresh start, but that fresh start really needed to start with that video because it was clear to me that it was impossible for me to make Sims content. If you guys saw the rate at which I was posting Sims content, it was like every 4 to 5 months you would see me with a new video of an old family or something like that. And I just couldn't keep it as consistent as I'd want. And the thing is about this channel and a lot of other channels that I have is that I'm trying to keep my posts very consistent. I'm trying to have not necessarily an upload schedule because I do have other channels that I have to manage. So I have to try to divide my time up evenly. But I know that I want to keep it consistent in the sense that I don't want it to be like a month or so away and you haven't heard from me or you haven't seen a video from me. And so I realized that I wasn't giving my 100% with this channel. And I initially made this channel because I enjoyed this before. I loved playing it. I loved making stories. And I thought, you know what? Why don't I go ahead and share these stories with the world? And after the update that happened, where it basically completely destroyed my Sims 4 files and all of my save game, all of it, like it was just gone. Years and years of time spent on those families and their story and their legacy basically was thrown in the trash. Now, I don't know if there is a fix that has fixed that already or what, but after that, that was just a clear sign for me that I just needed to step away and make some other content. And recently, I've just been more interested in making like news video type of content where I'm just kind of talking and explaining certain things, not really picking a side, but mostly just trying to stay neutral in these kinds of situations because really like I can be on the side of hatred or I can be on the side of supporting. And in these type of situations, I want to make it clear that I have stopped or I've been stopped providing for The Sims 4 and funding it and putting money into it. Like I've told you in the first video, I think either my last video or the first video, I said that the last pack I bought was for rent. The last pack I've spent with my very own money was the for rent expansion pack. And after that pack, that was it. Like I have never dropped any more money on this game. It didn't seem like my money was going where it should go. And it didn't seem like the money that I was putting into EA was being reflected back to me. The amount of content that we have been getting as of late and that The Sims 4 is just going to do what they think they want their players to like. It's clear to me that EA doesn't care. And a lot of simmers in this community choose to turn a blind eye to it, thinking that, oh, you know, it would get better. Even though I know before EA basically put out a statement or something like that saying that there will not be a Sims 5 unless The Sims 4 has success. And it has been clear that even with The Sims 4 quote unquote success, we were never going to get The Sims 5. Like, I don't know if The Sims 5 will ever be a thought in the future, but as of right now, The Sims 5 is just non-existent. But that brings me on to my second point that I said in a previous video, basically saying I have to wait and see. When I say wait and see, I'm not saying, oh, let's just sit here and continue to fund EA and let's sit here and do absolutely nothing. That's not what I meant. And that's probably what a lot of people thought I meant when I said just basically wait and see. But no, what I meant by wait and see in these kinds of situations is that doing what you can in the situation, which is either basically stop funding EA, giving it money, buying the packs, things like that, and stop promoting new packs and all that stuff, and basically choosing if you want to not continue to play The Sims 4 or to basically boycott it or whatever the case may be. After you've done your part of what you can do in the situation, it's basically like a wait and see situation where we have to see what EA decides to do with the company and the game and the Sims franchise as a whole. We can have our guesses and we can have our hypothesis about what we think will happen with The Sims 4, but until we see actual proof, facts written down about where the direction of the game is taking, it really is just a wait and see kind of process. I'm not saying by saying that you should sit here and do nothing or continue to promote The Sims 4 or buy into EA's packs and everything. That's not what I meant, and that's not what I'm trying to say here. After you've done all that you can do in the situation, there's not much you can really say or do about it. Like, you can continue to talk about it and basically bring awareness about it, but there's only so much a person can do when it comes to a huge majority of people continuing to fund and support EA even after the buyout. Now, obviously, the buyout hasn't made its official conclusion yet, so it hasn't been officially, like, they haven't officially taken over EA as a whole yet. Yes, it's been sold, it's been finalized, like, everything has been concluded in that, but in terms of those people taking control over EA completely has not been settled yet as of right now. But as of everything that has been happening with EA and continuing to see people like a couple of other YouTubers that I've seen, and I want to name one person specifically that I watched a video of, and no hate to this person or anything, but you probably know who he is, a Sims creator in the community, which is Satchon Sims, which I want to start off by saying, obviously, no hate, no ill will to this person, nothing like that. I do feel like they have their stand on this point and I have mine, and that's completely fine. We all have our different opinions on it. Now, I want to also say that if you still continue to play The Sims, or if you still continue to fund The Sims, basically buying packs and stuff like that from The Sims and EA, I'm not going to sit up here and try to make you feel bad about it. I'm not going to sit up here and try to be a bully or try to, make it into a huge thing if somebody wants to continue to fund The Sims 4 EA and continues to play it. I am going to say, though, that whatever you decide to do with your money and your time and whatever else, it's up to you. It's your decision. All I can do is sit here and explain and tell you my thoughts and opinions on it, and you have to end up making your own thoughts and conclusions for yourself. But back to Satchon Sims, I saw a video that he has now removed, but it was basically of him talking about the whole EA buyout and basically saying how he thought about it. And basically, I'm not gonna lie, when I did see the video of initially, I was kind of in shock. Well, not even in shock, but kind of just speechless. Like, I didn't know what to say to what he said. Again, I understand where he's coming from, basically by using this metaphor of you paying for your gas and your phone bill and things like that, and trying to relate it with The Sims 4 and EA. And a lot of us need to do those things to survive. Okay, we need a phone to survive. We need gas to get from one place to another for our cars. We need all of these things, even though the people behind it, whether it's the gas prices or where the gas money is going to directly, we don't know each individual that our money is going to when it comes to when we buy phones or gas or anything like that. But those are essential things of living, and those are things that we need. We don't need video games. We don't need TV. Those are just sources of entertainment. It's something that we, of course, want. We want to play something fun or something that can keep our mind off of reality, but that doesn't mean that we need those types of things. So we can easily stop playing The Sims or any other game if we truly wanted to. Like, it's not something that we need in order to be substantial. But basically, his take on the EA buyout was basically that I'm going to continue to play The Sims and I'm basically not going to feel bad about it. That was basically the whole thing I got from that. I can't remember word from word of what he said, but that was basically what he was telling his viewers, and basically told his viewers that if you don't like it, you can just leave or unsubscribe and move on. And like I said, no ill will to this creator or his YouTube. I actually really do love his takes on the EA packs and The Sims 4 as a whole. I love watching his videos. I don't comment a lot, but I do like some of his videos as well. He does go in depth on each pack and giving his brutally honest, raw opinion, which I can't say a lot of Simmers have given me. Like, they're either too afraid to say something mean, especially if they're in the creator network, which makes it even harder for them to say anything about it. But by me saying this, I'm not trying to hate on him or bring him down or anything like that, but I do feel like that statement did ruffle a couple of people's feathers and did cause a lot of backlash on his part, and that's probably why he deleted that video, because he probably knew that he was out of pocket a little bit. Like, I don't know the full situation on that story, but another thing I want to talk about is that a lot of people fail to realize that if we had boycotted The Sims 4 long before now, we probably would have gotten change from EA. Like, I feel like 99% sure that we would have gotten something out of this, because we have seen proof of it before. We have seen people who have not even just EA, but boycotted different games and different things like that, and effectively changed and helped made whatever it was better, whatever was being boycotted better. Because if EA continues to have people to fund its game and basically buy its pack, it will never go under. And I'm saying this out of pure joy of this game, realizing that this game could and should do a lot better than what it currently is working at. I do feel as if EA needs to realize that some people will quite literally not stand for this and either stop funding it or stop promoting it and basically leaving the EA creator network. A lot of my favorite simmers that I'm currently subscribed to have already came out and said their piece about where they stand on the whole EA buyout, and basically most of them were saying how they're going to branch out into different games and kind of start steering away from EA and The Sims and all that stuff. Like, they probably still play it on their own time, which, hey, you've bought the game already, you might as well continue to play it. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't necessarily need to buy from EA in order to get these games. Now, I don't know how many physical copies are there of the Sims franchise and its packs and everything like that, but you don't have to directly go to the EA app and buy the Sims 4 packs from there. There's other alternatives to do it, but a lot of my favorite simmers have already came out with a statement basically saying that they're going to start steering away from The Sims and start trying to branch out into other genres of cozy games. And some have even said that we should stop using their creator code, letting us know that they aren't really supporting EA's choices when it comes to the EA buyout, which, hey, I have to give a round of applause, because there's a lot of simmers that I'm still waiting for an actual response about. And I want to say this before I forget, I am not expecting any Sims creator to come out and state what they feel about the situation. Sometimes if you don't know what you should say in these kinds of situations, then it's best that you don't say anything at all, just in case you don't say anything offensive or say anything the wrong way, especially if you really don't know what you're talking about with the situation. It's probably best that if you don't know what you should say, you shouldn't be saying anything. And there's a lot of creators that choose to not say anything for the pure fact of not wanting to offend another side or get inside that controversial circle, because on certain topics, I know specifically with my channels, there's just certain topics I choose not to talk about because either A, I don't know what I'm talking about, or B, I may say something that's going to be hurtful or offensive. Now, if a Sims creator does decide to come out with their thoughts and opinions on it, then hey, I'm not going to judge or be mean or disrespectful to them, because even if they have a different opinion than I do, that's their opinion and they are right to their own opinion. And I just want to put that in there to also reiterate what I said earlier about I'm still waiting for Sims creators to say what they have to say about it. But if they don't have anything to say or they don't want to say anything, I'm not expecting them to say anything about it. I'm not expecting them to get involved with it, because again, this is a very controversial topic. This is something that could potentially change The Sims forever. And if you don't want to say anything about it, you don't have to. I'm not expecting that. But I do wish, if you don't know what you should say about these situations, then it's probably best that you don't say anything, or at least until you get your thoughts in order first and foremost before you come out with a statement or anything like that. And that goes for a lot of the big creators as well. Some people like Sydney Mac or other Sims creators, I can't think of every single one of them right now, have chosen not to say anything about it. And hey, that's their business. I'm not going to make them feel bad about it, because if there's a situation that they're not completely 100% sure that they can talk about it on, then that's something they shouldn't have to be obligated to talk about. They either choose not to talk about it, but they know about it, or they just choose not to get involved, which I understand this can be a very controversial topic, but I do feel like for some of the big creators, it needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed with them, especially because they do have a wider influence on the Sims community. And I feel like if a big Sims YouTuber came out on their stance about the whole EA buyout and basically saying like, hey, I'm going to try and branch out into different genres, and basically I don't support EA's choices with the EA buyout and everything, I do feel like it's going to make a huge change, a huge shift in the Sims community for a positive change, because a change has been needed to had for a long time now, and it's just been delayed over and over again. So I'm saying this to say that I don't have any hatred to any of the Simmers that choose to speak out about it or not, or choose to continue to play The Sims and buy its packs or whatever. Like I said, I'm just going to state how I feel about it. And I do hope that by stating how I feel and putting my thoughts and opinions out there, that there will be a lot of people that will agree and feel as if a change needs to happen, because this game will steadily decline if there is no changes made. I guarantee that. But one last thing I want to bring up before I forget, though, is that people like Little Simsy and all of like the big Sims creators saying that they don't know what to do. Basically, they're not sure where they should go from here. And I'm just going to say this short and sweet and simple is they know exactly what they need to do, or they know what they have to do, but it's not an easy decision. It's not something that they can just up and root, especially if you have a large amount of people who subscribe to you for a certain content, whether it be The Sims, Roblox, Minecraft, and you stop doing that content that a lot of subscribers have subscribed to your channel for. That does put your channel in jeopardy. But I do feel like people like Little Simsy and a bunch of other creators will have other opportunities to basically find other games that they can profit off of. And this is why, even with my own channel, I try to not keep it so niche and so close knit to one specific simulation game. Like, yes, my channel is basically about simulation. I do mostly Sims videos, but I also do these videos as well, just to test the waters as well. And also with the YouTube algorithm, sometimes they don't push out those videos, but I do know that with big creators who have a lot of followings, there's going to be majority of people who have subscribed to their channel for that Sims content, but there's going to be also majority of people who also will continue to stay subscribed to that person even if they stop playing The Sims or try to branch out. It is a huge risk for a lot of those Sims channels to try to change their niche or try to change their genre of game after so many years of promoting that specific game that they play. Like, if the only game you play is The Sims 4, it's gonna be kind of difficult to branch out and try other simulation games out there and still stay afloat, if that makes sense. So I understand where Little Simsy and a lot of the other big creators are coming from when they say that they don't know what to do. But when they say they don't know what to do, it's more so is they know what they have to do, but it's not an easy decision to make. And I get that. I understand it. But like I said, it is taking a risk. It's taking a huge risk. I know by me basically unlisting all of my videos, it was me taking a risk, but I decided to take that risk after my first initial video talking about this because I realized that there's a lot of videos on my channel that do well, and Sims content is just not one of those things that are going to do well and fundamentally make me happy in the future. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up here. Hopefully I didn't forget anything, and hopefully I explained it as much as I could. Please let me know down in the comments if you agree, disagree, in a kind and respectful manner. Nothing wrong with having a different opinion than me. That's completely fine, but let's be respectful about it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye, everyone.